My parents think my sister deserves my inherited apartment because she's the better child. 3 months after my grandmother died, I got a letter from her lawyer. She left me her apartment, the one I spent every summer in as a kid, worth about $200,000. Jessica called me that same night. Mom told me about the apartment. We need to talk about what is fair here. I did not think much of it until I showed up to get the keys. My entire family was waiting inside. Jessica, my parents, even my aunt and uncle. This was an intervention. David, your grandmother was not in her right mind those last few years. My dad started. Jessica has always been the responsible one. She deserves this more than you. I looked around the room at all of them. You all planned this together. My mom pulled out papers from her purse. We had a lawyer draw up a transfer agreement. You signed the apartment to Jessica. She gives you $30,000. That is more than fair for someone in your position. The apartment was worth $200,000. They wanted me to take $30,000 and pretend that was generous. I said no and walked out. 2 days later, Jessica showed up at my job with my parents during my lunch break. She was crying, mascara running down her face. David, I am getting married in 6 months. Michael and I need a place to start our life together. You are single. You do not need all this space. What would you even do with it? My manager had to ask them to leave because they were causing a scene in the lobby. That weekend, I went to move some of my stuff into the apartment. I got to the door and my key did not work. The locks were changed. I called my dad immediately. What did you do? We are protecting the family asset until you come to your senses. He said it like he was doing me a favor, like I should thank him. I called the police. They made my parents give me access to my own property, but the damage was already done. Everything my grandmother owned was gone. Her paintings, her books, her jewelry box I used to play with as a kid. All of it. Jessica had already moved everything to a storage unit for safekeeping, she said. When I confronted her, I did not trust you not to sell Grandma's things out of spite. I had to threaten legal action to get any of it back. She kept the jewelry. Said Grandma promised it to her years ago. My parents backed her up. 2 weeks later, Jessica sent me a long email. She said I was tearing the family apart over money and being selfish. That Grandma would be ashamed of how I was acting. That I was ruining her wedding planning because of the stress I was causing. She ended it with, when you are ready to be reasonable, we can talk like adults. I did not respond. Last week was my grandmother's birthday. I posted a photo of us from when I was 8, sitting in that apartment eating ice cream on her balcony. The caption said, thank you for seeing me when no one else did. Thank you for giving me a home. Jessica commented within minutes. Stop being so dramatic, David. Grandma loved all of us equally. You are just bitter because deep down you know I deserve that apartment more than you ever will. I screenshot it. Then I went through my phone. Every text my parents sent me pressuring me to sign. Every voicemail from Jessica crying about her wedding. Every email about the transfer papers. I sent it all to every single family member they invited to that intervention. My aunt called me 2 hours later. I had no idea they were pressuring you like this. This is disgusting. I am so sorry I was part of that meeting. My uncle stopped talking to my dad entirely. 3 cousins reached out apologizing for being there and not speaking up. My grandmother's sister, who is 81, called my mother and told her she should be ashamed. Yesterday, my mom called me. You have turned the whole family against us over an apartment. You have made us look like terrible people. No, Mom, I showed the family who you really are. I just gave them the evidence. You did this to yourselves. She started crying. We only wanted what was best for Jessica. She has worked so hard for everything she has, and I have not. That is what you mean. Her silence on the other end. I am sitting in my grandmother's apartment right now as I write this. I bought new furniture, painted the walls her favorite shade of blue, hung up photos of just me and her. Jessica can keep the jewelry she stole. I got something better. I got peace. I got a home my grandmother wanted me to have. And I got a family who finally sees the truth about who my parents really are.